Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are doing the last fixes to, let's say, my goal for this league as a Flicker striker CI Warden is this. As you can see, it does a lot of damage and other things. I'm going to explain, of course, everything. Again, this is the last one that I'm going to do as a brainstorm thingy. As you might expect, when you see new item, it's because these don't exist, kind of. They are kind of a baseline that you want to have until things. These gloves are completely unreal. You can use actually they are not that unreal, just don't get the physical converted to whatever or the frenzies. I'm just using them to check some things about conversions. You can ignore those, or you can use Tom Fists. They are a little bit worse, but also do a lot of damage. You do lose 2 sockets, but you can recover them with the normal Shroud of the Lightless. So this first look is also with a kind of a decent axe that you can get through recombinating. You can see here it's tier 3 physical, tier 2 flat. That is quite easy to recombine. And then attack speed and critical strike, they are not hard with prefixes cannot be changed, and then do the reforged speed or reforged crit, and then craft the other one and double damage if you do hit these two, and then you can craft that, or the focus double damage. Now what does this have? Fortify, because right now we have elder slams. I don't know how much they are going to be worth, but what you can do is you can slam the fortify or just recombine the flat, the hybrid. The hybrid, the fortify, just on the damage itself, it's around a tier 4, a tier 4 or 3 flat hybrid, sorry. And then you double corrupt it for inspiration and fortify, or only fortify already works. It's going to be a lot of damage. You can even get plus 1 2 socketed gems. It's kind of good. As you can see here, it's even more DPS than the hybrid that I have right now. And socketed melee gems, it's even better. You get a 2, mostly because Flicker scales a lot on gem level, because we have a huge deal of flat damage and damage from other places. Now the flat elementals are not good, the chaos is also not good, and then everything else here is not as good except the elemental with attacks. You can also get 100% there, and as you can see here, have a little bit extra damage. Now, so recombinating the socketed gems or the socketed melee gems is going to be quite hard, because they actually don't have a huge weight. So if you try to do the recombinating, it's going to mess up some things. Now you can get endurance charge on melee stun and get some endurances, but it's not that good either way. So the safest is just recombine with these 3 prefixes. It's not going to be super hard. There are a lot of guides that people with a lot more knowledge than me had made. And then get that double corruption going for inspiration, or you can just use like the Flesh Reaper that I have here. It's also a good Flesh Reaper, because remember, this is not league starter thing. And this Flesh Reaper has tier 3 physical, tier 4 hybrid, and then tier 1 flaring for the flat physical, and then of course these 2 and double damage. Nothing crazy, but I'm going to be mostly using this Despot Axe for comparison. There's also a BIS Despot Axe, but this is kind of an unreal thing and just to limit test things. I haven't applied the Tempering Orb modifiers to this, so it's going to be even more DPS. But same thing with the Flesh Reaper and with the Despot Axe, you can apply the temperings. You just put 8% or 10 or 15 if you are very powerful on those. And then of course it has the fortify, so we have fortify enabled. Now for other attack things, this is using the replica shroud, but the most DPS is going to be gained from the normal shroud with one socket. Why one socket? Is because those extra 5 sockets that we get are very powerful in that we can use extra auras and animate guardian, and also the specter with the extra aura. Remember that marionettes are still working now. So what can you get over here with the Shroud of the Lightless? Of course, I did not say anything because remember this is a warden, so we have full uptime on our 2 tinctures, and then these 2 flasks also have some big uptime thanks to the Natur's concoction, but I don't have them enabled all the time because, as you might expect, that is kind of cheating. Same thing with my Unbound Avatar and Berserk. They are not enabled by default. You can check out how much damage they do. And the one thing that I do have enabled by default is the Scourge and Shocks and like that. Resonance, you get very fast resonance. Trauma, you also stack it very fast. But if you don't really want to play with Trauma, even though Trauma right now is very helpful for me because it enables the Feed the Furies that I have. Those are over here. You get attack speed and damage while leeching, and we leech quite a little bit thanks to Ghost River. We leech around 20% of our energy shield per second very easily. You can also, of course, get these 2 points and then get 5% of leech is instant. This will solve all mana problems and all of the other problems. My thing is 95 right now because I expect to use some runegrafts. Now things that you can take off firstly are of course some energy shield if you can get it from other places, because remember also my ring is not reflected. But if you really want to reflect the ring, you want to get the accuracy somewhere else, and that energy shield change it to something else, and the intelligence also, and then get the percentage energy shield, the elemental damage with attacks, and the multiplier reflected up. Now for all other uniques that are important, Yoke of Suffering is going to be very, very good. We have all of the elements that we have available, like Shield, Scorch, Shock, and then from our Animate Guardian or the Mercenary, we're also going to get Brittle and Ignite quite easily. I haven't put anything of those in here because, of course, that is not the idea right now. But now, after going into the Shout of the Lightless, the normal one, let's enable the skills that we have. Get the Herald of Purity and Precision. That way we can take Precision from over here, and then you can put Enlighten and our Race Spectre, Guardian Blessing, and Hatred. This is a 3-2, but what you can do if you don't really want this Race Spectre, Guardian Blessing, and Hatred, you can put an Animate Guardian with Meat, whatever it's called, and also a Golem. Golems are going to be very, very good, and it's going to be kind of the super end game, let's say, the having an Animate Guardian and a Golem, because for example, even the Golem that is not as good, like the Stone Golem, gets 20 something% defenses. It's very, very good, but the Herald of Purity and Precision helps a lot on damage. Now for mana things, I have some mana on hit from my Warrior's Legacy and Corruption, but you can also use the this one, Clever Thief, and then the Leech Mastery to have it 5% of Leech instant. That is going to make everything super well. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of tattoos. These are for Mark Effect to get the critical strike chance. And there are also Energy Shield tattoos instead of Intelligence. They give like 10 or 20 Energy Shield each. Nothing crazy, but it adds up. And also I do go this place to get the Trail of Fury and attack mastery and Feather of Foes. This is kind of the best thing that you can get. I do anoint the Disciple of Slaughter. It's an anoint that it's not super pricey, but it does use 1 golden oil. So if you can get it quite soon, it also helps a lot. I do talent it until I can anoint it, because the frenzy on kill is going to be how you get frenzies while you are clearing, because the single target frenzies are going to come for from our mark. Assassin's Mark gives us power charges, and they also give you frenzy charges. Now you do attack super fast, so don't worry, you are going to have the 4 power charges available thanks to our helmet. And you can also get a 5th one over here in infused, very close. And also other things that you can do while you don't have a huge deal of good Abyss Jewels. Remember, this is kind of a baseline, but I'm going to kind of hear the importance on the mods. So the most important one, as you might expect, is maximum energy shield. That way you actually have enough energy shield to not insta die. Then afterwards you want or physical damage with attack or the multiplier and then the attack speed. So let's say these 3 are the linchpin that you want. It's not going to be cheap, but you can get the attack speed. It's more important than the multiplier if you are doing the trauma version. There's also another version that you can do with close combat that I'm going to explain a little bit later. If you don't really want to deal with trauma, it's also going to do a little bit more DPS with Flicker. But physical, because with lightpoacher we get 150 something percent extra. Let me check. This one is only 95 because we have less because we are using the normal replica instead of the replica, sorry. And then with those you get a lot of flat damage, but remember, Abyss Jewels can get up to 6 mods, so you can use the other mods to get more flat things or to change things around. One thing that you might have already seen is that I do have this extra percent of effect. This is because the mod itself here on this node, the colloidal mixture, doesn't work. You have used a flask like recently, kind of for some reason, so I have that extra. And then the extra elemental things, these are going to be gotten from your Abyss Jewels or from your mercenary using Purity of Elements or other things that give extra resistances. But you get those. Now for defensive things, you may have already seen them, but we do have our Flesh and Stone and Arctic Armor and Fortify from the weapon mod. You can also use the Tome Fist to get the Fortify and also 1 Rage. I have max Rage because with 3 Blood Sense you get 6 Rage per attack, every 0.5, meaning that you get to 30 Rage in around 3 seconds or less. It's going to be very easy to cap Rage, and also while you are use your Battle Flicker Strike, it also helps quite a bit. Now, one thing that I also want to say is that remember that we have no Animate Guardian or Mercenary buffs, but also it's going to be quite challenging to get these good Abyss Jewels. But I think eventually you will be able to get them, and remember 6 mods ones are going to be better than even this 4 mod one quite easily. All the resistances can be gotten from other places and from the Abyss Jewels themselves. Now, if you have any questions or anything, you can leave a comment on the video itself. But remember, this is kind of an idea that we have. It's not going to be impossible for me to farm this, because in the end, you can think that it's like 100 or 200 divines, but you can farm those. Not a league starter for sure, of course. But I'm also going to be doing updates on my build every some days that I get some good upgrades, and then you can see how the build evolves if you want to use it, or if you don't want. Remember, there are also a lot of things that you can do, and I even posted a live version, but the live version is very annoying. Remember, using the only archmage, you need to kind of drain all your mana. But I do recommend, if you do that one, maybe be a Templar or something else, so you can get diagnostic quite easy instead of a Warden. But Warden does enable the big tinctures with multiplier and penetration. You can also get the tinctures with more quality instead of only 20. Same thing with your weapon. You can get a weapon with more quality instead of only 20. That might be a good thing, but they are also quite pricey, and you might need to craft them from zero. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.